Jarrett, you have a really interesting story from a historical point of view because, as you said, you were 17 years old. You were accused of sexual assault in Wisconsin, and you were accused of assaulting a white woman, which we know the history behind that. Uh, Black men, I was covering lynchings on my social media last month, and so many of those lynchings was because a black man was accused of assaulting a white woman. If this would have been a different time, you would have not only been wrongfully convicted, you would have been lynched. So I just wonder for you, how do you navigate that trauma and just the day to day of love and relationships, considering that yours was a certain kind of horrible, heinous accusation?
Yeah, most certainly, Clay. Um, and look, in speaking to what you're saying, so I remember talking with my mom, and this was before like the verdict had came out and stuff like that. My mom was like, "Look, I can't go in the courtroom." And I said, "Well, why? What's going on? I didn't do anything." She said, "That ain't the point, baby. I know who I raised. I know you didn't do anything, but it's a lot of men historically who ain't done nothing where we were from in Mississippi. And they were killed, they were lynched. And she told me, every time I lay down and think about you and what you're going through, I think about Emmett Till." And this was back in 2000 when she said that. And I'm gonna tell you this, my prison experience was different. Of the eight something plus years that I spent almost 4 years in segregation.
Mm.
And they kept putting me in segregation because I was litigating against the Department of Corrections handbook, and they said that I was exhibiting riotous, inciting behavior. And so I'll tell you this, when my conviction was reversed unanimously by the Seventh Circuit, we were ordered back in court, and we realized that shortly after they were going to dismiss the charges. So when I made it into court, I am ecstatic that my mom, my aunts are going to get a chance to hear how innocent I was, because they heard all the lies that were going on when I was wrongfully convicted. In a matter of a couple minutes, the prosecutor says, "Look, we filing to dismiss all the charges." The judge agrees, slams her gavel, disappears. 5 minutes. And I turned to that woman with them same wrinkles and creases of anguish in her forehead that she had during that trial. And I told her we was done crying. We'll get our motherfucking leg back. So when you talk about being angry, I'm still angry, but it's a controlled anger through therapy, just like what Jimmy is talking about. So part of what my nonprofit does, we get people out of prison as well in Life After Justice, but we spend 50% of our funding to help them provide mental health care because it's essential when people come home. I liken it to this analogy. You're not going to see a runner race without first tying their shoes. For people who are wrongfully convicted or not, coming from the prison systems that we have, they need to tie their shoes before they can properly reintegrate back into society. So it's huge. And I'm talking about, I'm reminded of what was stolen from me every step of the way. You ever went home during the holidays and y'all all got your coffee or your beverages and cocoa, and y'all going through the photo album? You ever start flipping through the pages and you see yourself as a toddler, pre-K, eighth grade, high school, and then you come up missing out the photo album for the next 10 years? Hell yeah, I'm still mad. And each and every day that I go in that courtroom and they got to call me Attorney Adams, I'm getting my lick back for my mama, for my aunts, for all the people who supported and believed in me. So no, Clay, I'm not going to sit up here and say, well, I got over it. Hell no, I'm mad. And each and every day I'm exhibiting that.
One of the things that always gets to me when I do these interviews is that when y'all have brought up your mother and your father, I mean, you think about the wrongfully convicted and you think how it impacts families, how it tears families apart. How I interviewed one exoneree where he said his mother turned to drugs when he was incarcerated. I mean, it's such a domino effect on how it can kill a person's family.